everybody, and welcome back to yet another United States Men's National Team 2023 Gold Cup preview. This is our third edition of these Logan Blackman Show previews, so I appreciate everybody that has tuned in to watch all of these videos. I thank you. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'm excited to do this third one. The United States coming off a very impressive 6-0 win against St. Kitts and Nevis, and this is one of those games where you expect it's weird to say this because 6 goals is a lot, but this is a game you should expect to score 6, 7, near 8 goals in a game like this. There's a reality where the United States really should have dropped a dime piece on them. The United States really could have dropped 10 goals in this game, but, 6-0's fine. You got a top of the group. You had a very not fun game against Jamaica in the first game in a 1-1 draw. Didn't really show up till late in the game. The first half, again, like we said in the beginning of the St. Kitts and Nevis video, was borderline unwatchable. It was not fun to watch at all. So this game against St. Kitts and Nevis was a nice breath of fresh air. But again, it's a game where you should be absolutely beating the brakes off a team. Because no offense to St. Kitts and Nevis, they're not on the same level. And this is a game you should be absolutely. We said it could be a 5-4 game, but it wouldn't have surprised me if it was less than that. And at the game, watching this game with it being 6-0, it could have been more. It could have been more. So we saw a Jesus Ferreira hat trick. This dude, I saw this on Twitter after the game. He is the Pirate of the Caribbean. Like, 8 of his 11 goals. Now, I gotta give respect to Jesus Ferreira. We did call him mid in the first video, and I stand by that. I do stand by that he is mid, but I do gotta give him some respect. I believe he's the fastest player in United States men's national team history to reach double-digit goals. So you know what? We'll give him a round of applause. It is deserved. No matter what you feel about Jesus Ferreira, the fact that he scored that many goals that quickly says something. Now, it's not against the best opponents in the world. I understand that. And when you look at the rest of the United States players that have been around similar times that have scored, like in that time frame, I guess, they're not scoring against the best teams in the world. But those players are performing against the best teams. Well, that's one of the biggest knocks against Jesus Ferreira, is that we haven't seen these types of performances against the better national teams. He's dominant against these Caribbean nations. Absolutely dominant. He scored 3 goals this game. He scored 4 goals against Grenada. Like, he scores tons and tons and tons of goals against these Caribbean teams. And I think it's hilarious. The Pirates of the Caribbean, and we got the Pirate of the Caribbean in Jesus Ferreira, but 3 goals to his name. Very impressive goals as well. Made Archibald in net, which I would like to give some respect to Archibald in this game, because this dude got absolutely shelled. Like, this dude got pelted in the neck by Brian Robinson from about 10 feet out. Like, this dude faced a lot of shots. I think the United States, I could be wrong about this, I think the United States had like 30 shots in this game to about 2, maybe 1. And St. Kitts and Nevis only shot that I can remember. Maybe they got one late in the game that I'm just completely blanking on, but they had a shot at the end of the first half or towards the end of the first half that went just over the bar, but that was about it. The United States thoroughly dominated this game. And again, it could have been 10. Alejandro Zendejas had numerous opportunities to score, and where he could have either passed it off or scored himself. He had a very rough last 20 minutes of the game. Very rough. He had, I think, 3 or 4 shots that were nowhere near the mark. So it was a rough last. I think for the most part he had a decent game, but for those few moments, he was like, I want to get on the score sheet. I want to score my first goal for the national team. You gotta stop. You can't be selfish in these types of situations. I know it's a game where everybody's scoring. I mean, good Lord, you're up 6-0. Everybody wants to score in this game. But sometimes it's not meant to be, and you got to let other people score. Like we said, again, Jesus Ferreira with a 3. Jordy Mihailovic had 2 goals in this game. Very nice goals from Jordy. Also got 2 assists in the game. Scored the first goal of the game. And then the main one, though. The main one. So we talked about the hat trick. We talked about the double. But the most impressive goal of the night is frickin' Brian Reynolds. Good frickin' Lord. On his birthday. This is back-to-back games for the United States where something big has happened on a player's birthday. We had Matt Turner getting the penalty save against Jamaica, and you got Brian Reynolds producing a Benjamin Pavard-level strike against St. Vincent. Like, it was like the ball from Zendejas to the corner, ball goes over top of everybody, and Brian Reynolds is there to pick up all the trash and just absolutely snipes it past Archibald in net. What a freaking strike. Like, there was a stretch, about a 4 or 5 minute stretch where the United States scored 3 goals. Like, it was bang, bang, bang. Like, it was so quick, and it was so much fun to watch. And again, I got, like, It's like watching Alabama take on, I don't know, what's a low-level school that I could, Vanderbilt. And it's like watching Alabama versus Vanderbilt. Like, it's fun to watch all your players score, but it's expected. It's expected. So can you really take anything away from this game? I don't think you really can. I mean, you can take some things away from it. You can be more expansive. I mean, Brian Reynolds and DeJuan Jones, I thought played very well. I think Brian Reynolds made a lot of great runs. DeJuan Jones, there was one ball, the ball we talked about earlier that hit Archibald in the throat. DeJuan Jones cut it on his right foot, played a beautiful ball into the box for Brian Reynolds on the back post, who should have scored the goal. Should have scored. And just drilled it right into the neck of Archibald, who had to take a little 5-minute breather there. But we're talking about that 5-minute breather. There is nothing that compares to Gerard Williams, who, again, did not play in that first game against Trinidad and Tobago. Oldest player in the national team, most cap players in the squad. This dude took one for the freaking team. Christian Roldan, he hit something a little more precious there. He hit Gerard Williams and what we should call the family jewels. Okay, let's just put it like that. And you could hear the screaming on the screen. You could hear it. It was so depressing. You could hear the cries, the whimpers from Gerard Williams on the field. And as someone watching this game, I feel you, brother. That hurts. That hurts. I've had it happen. I think everybody watching to a certain extent has had that happen to them. So it's not fun. Maybe not from that distance. Maybe not against a professional soccer player in Christian Roldan. Maybe not that direct, but we felt you. And I'm thankful that you were able to keep on playing, because there is a mental hurdle you got to get over once that happens to you. Because good Lord, it was about 5 feet away coming at you about 100 miles an hour. That might not be the exact measurements there, but when it hits you there, it feels like it's coming at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Like, goodness, great. And again, Stuart Holden on the broadcast was like, no, we don't need to see it again. We got it the first time. We don't need to see it again. We don't need to see it again. But man, this game just was so eventful, which I sound like a broken record, but it's what you expect. It's against a team the United States should thoroughly beat, and there's going to be a lot of goals. There's going to be a lot of action. And yeah, fun game for the most part. Nothing you can really take away from it. I'm not ready to say Jesus Ferreira is going to be challenging Florian Balogun or anything for the starting striker spot for the United States men's national team. Not on that ship. That ship's going to take off without me, I'm afraid. But I don't want to take anything away from Jesus Ferreira's game. But man, the Pirate of the Caribbean, he's going to have to strike again this one. This is Trinidad and Tobago, and we're in similar-ish territory here than we've been. We've seen this movie before. So all the United States realistically needs to do to qualify for the next round, this is different than winning the group. All the United States needs to do to qualify for the knockout stage is draw. That's it. All they need to do in this game against Trinidad and Tobago is draw. They don't need to lose. They don't need to win. If they want to win the group, obviously you want to win. But they can draw and still win the group. I highly doubt Jamaica's going to draw against St. Kitts and Nevis. But all they need to do is draw. But remember, that's all they needed to do in 2017. Ended up missing the World Cup. So, you know what? We're in similar-ish water. But since then, the United States has outscored Trinidad and Tobago 13-0. And maybe we've crossed that bridge. Maybe we crossed that bridge. But you never know. History loves to repeat itself. So let's hope the United States is able to see this game out. Trinidad and Tobago, they beat St. Kitts and Nevis 3-0 again. Could have beat them 4-0. We talked about that in the St. Kitts and Nevis preview for the United States. Could have beaten 4-0. They just lost to Jamaica 4-1 today, sorry. Or today. They lost to 4-1 to Jamaica last night. And to be honest, it could have been more. And all those goals, apart from the last one, were some of the easy. You can even say the last one. Goalie couldn't do anything on the last one. Took a nasty deflection. The guy who scored that, 17 years old. 17 years old. His first ever goal for the national team is in the Gold Cup against Trinidad and Tobago. They called it the Caribbean Classico or something like that in the broadcast. I think that's what they called it. 4-1. Damari Gray gets 2 goals. Leon Bailey gets a goal. They had all the time in the world. All the time in the world. Like, there was nothing standing in the way of them and scoring their goals. Damari Gray's played great in his first 2 games for Jamaica. You love to see it for them. And Leon Bailey, close to being the second goal, I guess you get, or the third goal. The second and third goal for Jamaica, both were close to being offsides. Mikel Antonio played a ball across the box to Damari Gray for the third one. Leon Bailey got a nice ball chipped over top, lasered it past the goalie for Trinidad and Tobago. It was easy game for them. Absolutely easy game. Again, it could have been more. Leon Bailey had a chance on the back post. Mikel Antonio played it across the box in the second half. Leon Bailey fired it off the side of the net. Could have been more. There had multiple other chances scored in this game, but ended up just being 4-1. Andre Rampersad also scored his first goal for the national team as well. Levi Garcia, who's the captain for this game, Kevin Molino was on the bench for the start of this game. They played a completely different formation against Jamaica because, to the surprise of nobody, you're playing a completely different team stylistically in Jamaica than you were to St. Kitts and Nevis. You've got to be a little bit more defensive when you see that front line that they have of Bobby Reed, Leon Bailey, Mikel Antonio, and Damari Gray. You've got to play a more defensive shape. So they played a 5-4-1. So Kevin Molino sat out at the start of the game. Did end up playing the game, but sat out at the start. So Levi Garcia was the captain. Probably their best player. He's getting linked with a move to Celtic and Lyon, so we'll see if that takes place for him, but got the assist in the game. Rampersad ran near post, played it across the box. Got a nice little flick into the goal to make it 3-1, but, it was all for naught. They had a nice little moment getting a nice goal, and that could mean all the world. That could mean everything. Maybe they end up, I don't know. Maybe they go through on goal difference. They're not going to, but you know what? Maybe they do. Maybe that goal means absolutely everything for them. But Rampersad with the goal in the game. Levi Garcia, he's had a night. He's one of their better players. Not scored the most goals. I think he's got like 35 caps and 8 goals or something like that. But again, he's been in great form for AEK Athens this season. Again, linked with moves to Lyon and Celtic, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes. He was the captain this game. We'll see what kind of formation they play against the United States, if they stay with the back five, or they go back to the formation that they played against St. Kitts and Nevis, which is a 4-2-3-1. We'll have to wait and see on that. But Kevin Molino, again, one of the better players on this team, probably the most skilled player on the team, national team captain, didn't make an appearance, or I see this again, didn't start in this game against Jamaica, but very creative player, one of the better players, if not the best player they have, along with Levi Garcia. So we'll see. If one of the more experienced players, Jovan Jones, is one of I think their goalie, their backup goalie, has like 93 caps or something. But Jovan Jones, for the active players that have made an appearance this tournament, he has the most caps. He has like 80-something caps in the national team, but his brother, oddly enough, has been the one starting for Trinidad Tobago. He got the goal in the first game against St. Kitts and Nevis, but he's been the one playing. Jovan Jones, weirdly, going into the tournament, one would suspect him to be one of the more important players for Trinidad and Tobago, but he's been mostly used as a sub. He came into the 45th. He came in after halftime in the game against Jamaica, but I was kind of surprised to see him not be amazing. He's just older. I don't know. I was kind of surprised by that. I can't really lie there. And the final player we're going to talk about is Johnny Fortune. He plays naturally as a center midfielder. He played off the left in the game against Jamaica. Came in the second half against St. Kitts and Nevis. Got a goal in that game. He was the second goal of the game. Dribbled through their entire defense essentially and slotted it past Archibald right outside the box. But one of the younger players on the squad as well, only 20. They have 2 players that are 19 years old. So they got a relatively young-ish squad. So they got a couple 19-year-olds. They got a couple 20-year-olds. Fortune's probably the leader of the 20-year-old brigade, I guess you could say, but a very talented player. But he came in this game and started. He kind of replaced Molino in the starting 11, you could kind of say. Not in the exact position, because again, Molino was playing as the number 10. He played out wide on the left side of the spot, but it's such a weird formation, the 5-4-1 formation. It's such an odd formation. I hate it to my core. It's such a terrible formation, but it's so anti-soccer, anti-football, anti-fun. Whatever phrase you want to use, that's how you can describe a 5-4-1 formation, and it didn't work. The Trinidad and Tobago defense was completely shut off in this game, so we'll see if they're active against the United States. And speaking of the United States, I hope they don't play a 5-4-1 formation. I hope in the Gold Cup, in a region where they should be dominant, and you bring your B team, you bring your C team, whatever you want to call it, the United States should still be one of the better teams in Concacaf, if not the best. I mean, they brought a B team last year and won the tournament. They should be able to do it this year. You can make an argument this squad's weaker or better than last year's squad, but yeah, I just hope we don't see a 5-4-1 formation. But for this game, we're going to go somewhat similar to what we saw against St. Kitts and Nevis. We're going to go a 4-3-3. I know I like the 4-2-3-1 formation, but the 4-3-3 worked. The 4-3-3 worked in this game, and I think in this one, because we're in an odd situation here. This is a game, we just saw Jamaica beat the brakes off Trinidad and Tobago 4-1. So this is a game where we should see the United States handle them easily, right? But again, I bring back history likes to repeat itself. And there's probably a slim to slim chance this happens. But for the off chance it does happen, I would like to play a stronger squad. So there's a chance like Gaga Slonina plays in this game. And I would love it. Sean Johnson got the start in net in this game against St. Kitts and Nevis. I really wish Slonina started in this game. That would have been a nice experience game for him because Sean Johnson was he didn't do anything. He didn't need to do anything. They had 1 to 2 shots in the game. Like, nothing happened for St. Kitts and Nevis. The United States defense was relatively well rested. So we'll have to wait and see what kind of line. I would expect Matt Turner to be back, though, just because you got to get a result. You don't need to win, but you need to get a result. And I think this is I don't want to say but it's a higher stakes game that I would like to see Gaga Slonina play, if that makes sense. I wanted to see him play this tournament. If he didn't play against St. Kitts and Nevis, we probably aren't going to see him this tournament, sadly. Maybe we do, because I think he's very talented. He's insanely talented. He could be the next great American shot stopper, but for now, for this game against Trinidad Tobago, I'm going to put Matt Turner back in net. As far as the back line goes, I would love to see Brian Reynolds back at right back. I thought he played awesome. I think his overlapping runs were awesome. The goal was the main thing that we saw there. But he had some great overlapping runs. He had some great low balls driven across the box, which is what you need. When you have a team like the United States with a 5'8" striker with no real height up top, you need to have these balls driven across the box, not floated over top, because you're not going to beat anybody for headers. It's damn near impossible. I think Brian Reynolds had a fantastic game apart from the goal. The goal is going to be the thing that you focus on, but even apart from the goal, I thought Brian Reynolds played awesome, so I'd love to see him start again, but this could be an experienced team that you see, so maybe we see DeAndre Yedlin back in the squad. Maybe you see Julian Gressel start this game at right back. He came in late, got a nice little cross towards the end of the game, didn't play a lot. I didn't know how many minutes he was going to play in this tournament, to be 100% honest with you, but he has played. He has officially gotten minutes in this tournament. I think that's everybody, apart from Miles Robinson, who's been injured, and then Gaga Slonina, unless I'm forgetting somebody. I think that's everybody that's played a game, but Gressel could start, but I would see it's either Yedlin or Reynolds. I would love to go with Reynolds again. As for left back, it's a tough game to judge off of because the talent level between Jamaica and St. Kitts and Nevis is completely different. So you can't really judge DeJuan Jones' performance and John Tolkien's performance equally, but I think DeJuan Jones was more effective, I guess you could say. A lot of the game for DeJuan Jones was laying on his back or getting up from a foul or something. That was the most things I can remember, apart from the ball that he played across to Brian Reynolds. But I'm going to go with Jones in this. I like him in this game. I think his attacking output's a little bit better so far. And it's so hard to judge given that Jamaica and St. Kitts and Nevis are nowhere near each other. I expect Jamaica to beat St. Kitts and Nevis like 4-0. That's what I'm expecting in that game. I mean, look what they did to Trinidad and Tobago. They beat them 4-1. I don't know. I expect Jamaica to have an easy game. So I would like to see the United States go forward a little bit. I liked what DeJuan Jones did. I'm rambling a little bit, but I liked what DeJuan Jones did for the most part in this game. I'm not saying he played perfect, but I thought he did all right. Center back partnership, I think, again, kind of picks itself. I don't think you risk Miles Robinson yet. I think you save him for the knockout stage. I think you're fine for the most part right now with Jalen Neal and Mike Miazga. I think you just nurse the injuries. I think you nurse Aaron Long's injury. I think you nurse Miles Robinson's injury. If you think he's healthy enough to play, if you think he's healthy enough to play, then play Miles Robinson. But I just wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't risk it. So I would go with Miazga and Jalen Neal. So same back line that we saw last time, apart from Matt Turner and net. And the midfield three, we're going to go James Sands back in there. Maybe Aiden Morris goes in and starts there. I thought Aaron Morris played all right when he came in later in the game. I thought he played all right. So maybe we see him go in there. I think Jordi Mihailovic keeps his spot. And I think Gianluca Busio keeps his spot. I loved the fact that Gianluca Busio started. As a Sporting Kansas City fan, I was super happy to see him in here. I was kind of surprised he got called back into the national team, to be 100% honest with you. But I'm happy he started. He got an assist in the game. I think he deserves a chance to start. Got subbed off at halftime. And Alan Senora, again, didn't really do a lot. He had a close free kick, which I was surprised didn't hit the wall. So, yeah, I think Busio did enough to keep his starting spot. I think he should be well rested. Got subbed off at halftime. Maybe we see Morris come in for Busio. Maybe we see Morris play with James Sands in midfield. We see Mihailovic playing as number 10. Maybe that's what happens. I don't know. But on the right, talked about this before, Zendejas, he didn't have the greatest last 10, 15, 20 minutes of the game, but I thought he did all right for the most part. I think he's a talented player, and he's really, unless you want to play Julian Gressel there, I think he's the only real option for the United States coming off the right. Unless you want to move Jesus Ferreira over there, that's probably your best option there off the right. And speaking of Jesus Ferreira, start him at number 9. I think this best spot would be as a number 10, but I thought that'd be the last game. I thought it'd be the first game. And you know what? Lord knows that he's probably going to start as number 10 this game. But I think with Brandon Vasquez missing a wide-ass open header in this game from a Mihailovic free kick, I thought he didn't do enough to warrant a starting. He played well in those short minutes that he had against Jamaica, but I don't think he did enough to warrant that starting spot for this next game. So I think we're going to see Ferreira start as the number 9 again. I'm not saying Ferreira's going to get benched. Ferreira would just slide into the number 10 spot. So that's what we're going to see there. And then on the left, I think he goes back to Jordan Morris. Cade Cowell didn't do anything. He tried a lot of stuff, but nothing worked. Like, it was kind of there was no substance involved. Maybe we see Gressel play over there, because Morris didn't play great in the first game against Jamaica. Maybe you see Christian Roldan play off the left, or maybe you see a completely different formation. Like, maybe we play a diamond formation or something like that. Maybe we play a 4-2-2-2 or something. I don't know. Maybe they switch it up a little bit, but I don't know. I think he would go with Morris, given what Cowell. It's so weird because neither one of them did anything. Morris didn't do anything. Cowell didn't do anything. Cowell was probably the worst player out of the starters last night. I mean, I can't really say anything about Sean Johnson. He didn't do anything, so I can't really. I guess you could put Sean Johnson there for the lack of usage, but yeah, Cade Cowell just didn't do anything. So I think Jordan Morris will probably be back. Probably. But it's hard to judge because, again, it's against a team that you should beat. So I would like to see a similar-ish lineup. Maybe, again, Yedlin's in. Maybe you see Gressel in. Maybe you see Cade Cowell still keep his spot. But for the lineup that I'm going to predict, I think it's one of the stronger ones they could do, at least based off what we saw against St. Kitts and Nevis. And that is Matt Turner in net. I would love to see Gaga Slonina, but I think it'll be Matt Turner again. It's an important game. Got to make sure you secure all your points. Then Brian Reynolds on the right, DeJuan Jones on the left, Jalen Neal, Matt Miazga at center back. We got James Sands in center midfield. In front of him, we got Jordi Mihailovic and Gianluca Busio. On the right, we got Alejandro Zendejas. We got Jesus Ferreira up top, and then we got Jordan Morris on the left. Yeah, I'm not confident with Morris on the left or even Reynolds at right back. I think Reynolds is better than DeAndre Yedlin, but I feel like they might go back to Yedlin because it's a game they're going to need points. I think they might try to go with a more quote-unquote experienced team, and Yedlin with damn near 80 caps would definitely be up there for that. But I'm going to say the United States win this game 3-0. I think 2-0, 3-0. I think so. A fair scoreline for the United States in this game. Going through the group stage with just one goal allowed, similar to that what they had in the last Gold Cup, but they've scored more goals. Like, if you get 2 goals in this game, I think you've scored more. Because I think en route to the final, they had 1 goal scored in every game. They scored 1 goal, apart from Martinique's game, where they scored 6. They won 6-1. This game, though, they should have won like 7, 8, 9, 10, nothing. But fun game, fun result, and I'm hoping that they do enough in this game to see through and not only qualify for the next round, but win the group. And again, I'm saying a 2-3-0 win for the United States. Captain, I just give it back to Matt Turner. Why not? Just give it back to Matt Turner. Maybe, again, Jesus Ferreira's captain because of the fact he got a hat trick. Maybe they reward him with a captaincy. Who knows? Maybe Yedlin's captain. I'm going to keep saying Yedlin's captain just because he's so experienced and he's captain at club level. So maybe he's captain. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If not, I sincerely apologize. We'll try to be better next time. If there is a next time, because who the hell knows? Who the hell knows the United States? Knock on wood. Knock on wood, of course, but crazier things have happened. I mean, I've seen this team with an A team lose to Trinidad Tobago, so who knows what they can do with a C team. So yeah, that's all I've got for you today. Hope you enjoyed. If not, we'll try to be better next time if there is. And I will see you all later. Peace.